Hey everyone, today we're gonna take a look at the Star Wars Black Series Clone Wars Walmart exclusive ARC Trooper. Here's a look at the front of the packaging. It comes on a unique Star Wars Clone Wars card back deco. At the top we see the Lucasfilm 50th anniversary branding. We have the action figure packaged over here on the plastic bubble. He comes with a blaster as well as a rifle. And looking at the artwork as we go down the front to the side of that curved bubble, there's a very distinct Clone Wars style artwork of that red ARC Trooper. And now we go on to the back of the card. We see the artwork of the ARC Trooper as well as some conceptual artwork behind in the backdrop. There's a description of the character over here, as well as the Lucasfilm 50th anniversary timeline, and finally some product information at the bottom. So let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. To unbox the figure, I simply tear the plastic bubble off the card back. And once you get that bubble off, you can see a very eye-catching fireball explosion deco on the back of the card. In terms of weapons, he comes with a full Clone Trooper arsenal. All the weapons are cast in a flat black plastic. He's got two pistols, the usual Clone Trooper blaster, as well as the Clone Trooper rifle. All of them have the usual features like the pistol grip, as well as the clean straight lines down the sides of the weapons. In packaging, he already comes dual wielding those two pistols. However, on his left hand it does look a little awkward because he doesn't have a trigger finger. Not a big deal, just take a hobby knife and separate that trigger finger from the rest of his fingers. And now he can hold that pistol just fine with that finger going into the trigger. If you don't want him to be holding those pistols, you can store them neatly on the holsters on the sides of the figure. So this is a cool storage option for those pistols. And of course he holds the blaster just fine and you can pose him with it. And he also looks just as cool with the heavier armed option of the rifle. In terms of sculpt, he's on the Clone Trooper 2.0 body. Most of his sculpt as well as his accessories are reused from ARC Trooper Echo. But he does come with a new head sculpt, and that's the Phase 1 Clone Trooper helmet. His paint scheme is definitely more simplistic than ARC Trooper Echo over here. Obviously swapping the blues for the reds. And there's only one tone of grey used on him, and that's more blue compared to the grey on Echo. Zooming into his head sculpt, he's got the Phase 1 Clone Trooper helmet, and that means a more simple design. The paint applications are sharp, and overall the lines are really clean all over the helmet. It's actually really satisfying when you see that Hasbro can do the simple things well, keeping everything clean and neat. And there's even a couple of those grooves down the sides of the helmet as well. The back is just got some tech detail, all cast in white plastic. And when you come down to his right side, there is the rangefinder. It's cast in black plastic with white paint at the top, and it does rotate downwards so you can use it. An interesting thing about that head sculpt is that on the inside, the head on the inside of the helmet is actually cast in a flesh tone plastic, which is different from the previous troopers that we've seen. Those troopers had their heads still cast in that white plastic. And this time as well, that head is also still firmly glued into that helmet. Moving on to his torso, he's still got that pauldron, which is cast in grey plastic and given red paint over here above his left shoulder. It is combined with a white piece of armored plastic, and that entire piece is then attached to that base white trooper torso. Moving down to his arms, you can see that now he's got a red stripe painted all the way down. That paint stripe is also on his elbow pad. His forearm armor does have the same details as before, but this time the buttons are just colored in yellow, while there's no additional paint for this tool on the outside of his arm. Now swinging onto the back of the figure, the backpacks do appear to be identical in terms of sculpt as well as paint. And we come down to his right arm. Once again, it's all just red paint on his right forearm, while on Echo there's blue and grays. And now let's have a closer look at the lower bodies. The intricate belt and skirt piece is also the same sculpt. You can see those pouches on his belt as well as on the sides of his skirt. And there's also connecting straps to hold all that equipment together. This time the skirt is cast in the grey plastic with red paint for the outline. It definitely has less paint applications compared to Echo, but all that gear put together with the couple of clean colors over here actually makes that whole harness piece look really cool. Echo over here on the right also has the benefit of having more interesting paint detail on his skirt with all the stripes. But on the new ARC Trooper, everything is kept more simple. And now we just go on to their legs. You can see that Echo over here has grays, but the new ARC Trooper just has plain white plastic all the way down his legs. The sculpt is still interesting, but definitely it stands out more on Echo because he's got different colored paint applications to bring out those sculpted armor details. Moving on to articulation, he's got 2 ball joints at his neck, one at the top and one at the bottom, so you can swing his head sideways. You can't really get some tilt sideways because of the sculpt of his helmet interfering with his shoulder pauldrons. He is able to look down just a little bit as well as up. He's got butterfly joints at his shoulders, so you can pull his shoulders back as well as forward. There's a swivel and a hinge at the elbow, so you can bend his arms just about 90 degrees and also swing that arm out as well as in. He's got a swivel hinge at the wrist, so you can spin it 360 as well as articulate it in as well as out. On his right trigger hand, he's also got a swivel hinge, but this time it articulates down as well as up, which is appropriate for a trigger hand. He's got a ball joint at the torso, so you can spin him sideways. You can also get some sideways tilt, and you can also get forward as well as backward bend. He's got a ball joint at the hips, but there's not much that you can spread out. The skirt is made out of a flexible plastic, but it still hinders that sideways range because of those straps that keep the skirt together. Likewise, there's not much backward range, but there's quite a little bit forward once you get that leg in between the 2 side skirts. He's got an upper thigh swivel, so you can spin his legs outwards as well as inwards. He's got a swivel hinge at his knees, so you can get it to bend more than 90 degrees, and you can also use that swivel to then spin his legs in and out. In and out. And at his ankles, he's got ankle tilt, so you can tilt upwards, downwards, and there's also ankle pivot outwards as well as inwards. Since he's on the Clone Trooper 2.0 body, his articulation is pretty much Clone Trooper standard, and you should be able to get him into many different fun poses. The ARC Trooper armor, as well as his equipment and many weapon pieces, definitely makes him quite an eye-catching addition to your Clone Wars display. For size, the ARC Trooper stands at about 6¼ inches, and that's just under 16 centimeters. For size comparisons, here he is with the Clone Trooper 1.0 body as well as a 2.0 body. Here he is with Gree, Rex, and Cody, Stormtrooper and Shock Trooper, Hunter and Wrecker from the Bad Batch, some Marvel Legends, and finally some G.I. Joe Classified series. There's beauty in simplicity, and the sharp paint applications and clean deco makes this ARC Trooper an eye-catching addition to your Clone Trooper collection. I am cognizant that this comes in at a higher price. It's a Walmart exclusive and actually reuses a lot of parts, so it isn't super essential for a Star Wars collection. But if you have a chance to grab him, I'd recommend you pick him up. Please like and share this video, let me know what you think in the comments below, and subscribe to my channel for more toy reviews. Thanks for watching, take care and stay safe.